This couple was afraid to watch Oppenheimer because of Florence Pugh's seeing the horror. What?
Okay, so I research everything before we watch it, but especially this movie. Obviously, I heard about it. Yes, we wanted to see it. It has an amazing rating. We prepared ourselves. I didn't know when the scene was going to happen, and I also didn't understand how the scene was happening. I thought it was just several minutes straight of, but it wasn't. It was actually broken up into like, it would do a flash of that, and then it would do a flash of normal life, and then it would do a flash of the scene, and then it was like very, back and forth. So it was really difficult to avoid it, but obviously.
Well, my GF tried half-heartedly to cover my eyes with Florence Pugh came on because she was jealous. I'd consider that like a red flag, unless that was like really joking. I don't know, man. People like grown-ass adults who get weird about shit like this. I don't know.
My husband and I talk about everything. If we go anywhere or we go see anything, even if it's a concert, movie, an event, we have a game plan. We talk about things.
What?
Like, what if you get triggered? What if I get triggered? Really, the problem isn't what if you get triggered. The problem is what if I get triggered, because I don't want my night to be ruined by being triggered by something on a screen.
Is this a porn addiction thing? What is the context? Addiction and betrayal trauma talk directly to me here. She has Jesus shit in her hands. Okay. All right, so it's like weird about porn. Okay, porn addict? I don't know.
So essentially, what we did was when the scene came up, when things were happening, he literally closed his eyes and laid his head on my shoulder. Like, if this is my shoulder, like this is my shoulder, he like this. And then I would just like let him know whenever it was over. And it literally, I will tell you what right now, took nothing away from the story. Him not looking at the screen during did not change the storyline, did not change anything. Have a plan and talk about it.
So creepy. This is a grown-ass adult. Yeah, it's so weird. This doesn't have anything to do with porn addiction. This has to do with like Christian moralizing. This isn't like a health or whatever thing. Is anyone else like really tired of the whole why do you have sex scenes in your movie? It doesn't add anything. You realize like if you had that attitude towards art, you could cut out every part of every movie. Right? Like this fight scene, you could just have a text thing saying they fought. Like what do you mean? Like you could just read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia and that's all you need, right? Because then it doesn't take away from the story. It's so weird. It's so weird. And there's a lot of like Gen Z moralizing about this. Oh, Vermin sent me like 50 things on this. Holy shit. Gosh, look at everything in order, my dear. You don't get to determine my segments. What are you doing? Why you can look at these 20 DMs in order? What kind of power do you think you have? My editors, who I pay, by the way, DM me and I fucking respond 2 days later with "Oops, saw we the anime like that" because I didn't read it in time. Jesus. Since quitting corn, my husband. Oh, holy shit! There's a baby on the phone. Affirms me and validates my feelings. No longer blows up at me or calls me name. Dude, the baby's on the phone. Shows compassion for me and holds space for my emotions. The thing that's really f***ed up about this, too, is that, like, porn addiction is real in the sense that, like, anything can be an addiction, right? There are people addicted to porn. It's not like a special thing about porn or whatever. It's just, like, a thing that does exist. And it's impossible to talk about it or take it seriously because there are so many weirdo conservative Christian moralizers who treat like remember that debate we had and it's people are like no porn addiction is different. If you look at one porn video your brain instantly rots and looks like a raisin. It's like what do you mean, what are you talking about? How is the baby using a phone? I would never give a phone to a baby. This has 261,000 likes. The baby's on the phone. That's very weird and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. She's accusing everyone criticizing her of being corn addicts.
My account is trending on Reddit. There's like a cringe Reddit and they're like posting my content on there, which is hilarious because it's like, oh, I know what Reddit is used for. Pretty much every single woman I talk to who's been betrayed has been their boyfriend or their husband. A major part of their corn addiction is Reddit. There's tons of corn on Reddit, tons of like RAPE fantasy Reddits and stuff like that. And incel Reddits as well. So Not worried about that. The other thing is, I guess Barstool Sports on Twitter shared my video that I made about Oppenheimer. Just the video I made about how, like, my husband and I had to have a game plan going into it because we knew, like, we look up the parental guide for everything that we watch because I don't want to be triggered whenever we watch anything. I don't want to, like, if there's going to be lots of sex scenes, I don't want to watch it. If there's going to be a few, you know, case by case basis. They shared that video about that. And so now all of the corn addicts from Twitter are,
okay,
I guess,
so
finding me on here and commenting.
This is why you can write off everything that she's saying. Because her video on the Oppenheimer thing was ridiculous, worthy of scorn. And she's like, well, everyone who disagrees with me is a porn addict. This is Christian shit. This is like, oh, well, by like her definition of porn addict is somebody who uses porn, who looks at porn. That's her definition of a porn addict. Yeah, it's the therapy talk shit, man. I really wish we could, like, mind wipe therapy talk from people's brains because all it does is get abused. That's it. That's the only thing therapy talk exists for. It's like academia speak and sociology when people start using terms like black bodies rather than black people. And it's like, what the fuck are you saying? They're like, well, by saying black body, we're emphasizing the physical presence of... Shut the fuck up! Say black people! What the fuck do you mean? Black bodies. Jesus Christ. And it's like, yeah, all of these toxic gaslighting corn addicts are trying to trigger me with... It's like, shut the fuck up. We're not in a therapy setting, okay? Please Vosh another line. I can never do a segment well enough for this bitch. Explains that he was also an alcoholic and quit porn at the same time as alcohol, but of course she blames it on the porn, not the alcohol addiction. I don't know. I mean, I saw that, and that was just like a random tweet, so I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's true or not. Alcohol addiction being not only a psychological, but a physical thing, probably a little bit more worthy of concern. Like, porn addiction is a real... Again, I'm not saying it's not a real thing. It's just like, holy shit, man. Send better warriors.
Are, like, I guess finding me on here and commenting and stuff, which is also really funny because, number one, like, they are defending corn with their life and limb. Wouldn't it be nice if men got as upset about grape as they do about women speaking out against corn, or just having a boundary around it, like raising awareness around it, why it's damaging, why it's not ethical, why it's not okay.
See, again, notice how she's not talking about porn addictions. She's talking about how porn isn't okay. Like, like, there's no effort to even maintain an artifice of this being about, like, actual addiction, and just, it's just a moral argument against porn. It's just anti-porn. One of the reasons that you, like, I've always said this, you have to have a huge red flag out for SWERFs, sex worker, exclusive, radical, whatever, like anti-sex, anti-porn. You can critique porn all you want. The porn industry's fucked up, man. That's fine, okay? However, like, being anti-porn conceptually, being anti-porn, like, fundamentally is like a warning sign for every bad ideology. You know, sex is such a fundamental part of who we are, and so much of the body politic, literally the body politic, orients around our relationship to sex, sexuality, nudity, exposure, porn, whatever. And for a person to have, like, a fundamental political opposition to porn almost always translates into, like, a ton of other bad beliefs and values. Why are there stars on Reddit or Twitter? I don't know. I don't know. This is like the TikTok version of me going like, hold up, guys, this might be DMCA. And it's a video that has like 1/8 of a second of a GarageBand default backing track or something.
Why it's addicting, right? And why it should be or could be a boundary in your relationship. Anyway, I've noticed that a lot of the people that will comment recently, a lot of the guys, they'll comment like very specific like phrases or sentences, and I just block. And then within minutes, I'll get another comment of the same exact thing. And when I look at the profile, it'll say like Oliver Smith, 0 followers, 0 following.
It's just bot whining? Okay.
Like zeros across the board. Like obviously this account must have just been created because they have 0 likes. Like they have like absolutely again and again. So these men are so corn addicted. They're so corn sick, men and boys, that they are, and they're so triggered by that video that they found on Twitter that they come onto TikTok and make multiple profiles. Like they're investing their time into this, making multiple profiles to say right now, like if you're not single right now, like you probably will be the rest of your life. It's just so sad. But if you're struggling with porn addiction, if you're struggling with betrayal trauma.
What is betrayal trauma? Can I wait, hold on. Can I get a video on betrayal trauma? Can I learn what the that means? Being dumped / cheated on? I guarantee you that she would define their partner looking at porn as cheating on. Like, it's like one of those ladies who like catches their husband jerking off or something. Why is Makima here?
You are literally a girl. Why are you hating like a man? You are literally a girl.
What?
Why?
What? Okay, I don't understand TikTok culture. I'm sorry. I'm almost 30. I'm sorry. I just want to know what she means by betrayal, whatever. I love how in TikTok there's no way to like title a video. Well, I mean, I guess you can with the thumb or whatever. Whoa! In a towel? Isn't this kind of like making porn? Depending on how like Christian you slide the slider. Porn addicted woman. True.
So yes and no. It doesn't actually reduce stress, but just like all addicts, whatever substance you're addicted to, especially if it's something very...
I do think a lot of this Puritan Christian shit is kind of softcore bait. Yeah, I don't want to like say there's anything wrong with or sexual about a woman putting makeup on or whatever, but it's definitely not a coincidence that so much of the, hey, reject porn, reject modernity, have a trad wife, be chaste, be modest stuff has spokeswomen who are like really conventionally attractive, and a lot of the times when it's just like captions being added to an image, they look like porn stars who are just wearing like normal clothes. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, don't be a D-gen. Here's your trad wife, and it's some chick with like double D's and cleavage. But it's like, okay, there's nothing wrong with being a chick with double D's and cleavage, but like the fact that that's what you're choosing to advertise a movement away from pornography is an indication that you're just, this is just softcore porn for you.
Very hard, like, you know, meth or heroin, even alcohol or nicotine. People. So yes and no. It doesn't actually reduce stress, but just like all addicts, whatever substance you're addicted to, especially if it's something very hard, like, you know, meth or heroin, even alcohol or nicotine, people will tell you whenever they're addicted to that substance and they're doing it every day or every other day, they will say to you, I need this to reduce...
Okay, comparing things that have a physiological addictive component to things that are merely psychologically addictive is always a red flag. Like, all of the things that she just described are literal chemicals that you put into your body, not just things you do or look at.
Stress, but what they're doing is causing more stress. What they're doing is contributing to stress, anxiety, depression, and a plethora of other awful side effects. But when they get that dopamine hit, they have a momentary relief of stress until...
I feel like corn ruined our relationship, and IDK how to fix it. That's what happens when you marry a farmer. All they care about's growing their corn. So true.
Their body is craving that other hit of dopamine, and which leads them back to doing it over and over and over again. So yeah.
Berman said the one next to this is betrayal trauma. This is betrayal. Okay. There's a huge genre of Zoomer radfems to insane. I've been wanting to do a segment on this, but I've seen so many videos of like women who are like 20, 21 who are pretty much objectively attractive, and they're saying shit like, you know, I feel like I've never been in a relationship. I've never even kissed a guy. I'm gonna die alone. And I feel like it's so interesting, and I want to do a because like the thing is that nobody wants to acknowledge is that's the case with a lot of guys, because I've seen the selfies posted to incel forums, and a lot of those motherfuckers are lying about how unattractive they are. A lot of them look not just fine, but pretty good. I mean, this is the first thing everyone said about Elliot Rodger, right? When he did that, the shooting at the university, he was like, whoa, why is this guy an incel? He looks fine. It's like, well, because it's a mental thing, right? And then you have like the femcells, and the femcells, I mean, some of these, I don't actually give a shit about like number system or whatever, but like 7 out of 10 chicks or whatever are like, yeah, I've never kissed a guy. And okay, to be clear, I think the incel shit is pretty pathetic when men do it. And I think it's pretty pathetic when women do it, okay? I want to roast them. But I want to do the loving roast, right? Where it's like, you can do better. But we have to do that with the chicks too, right? Because it's like, hey, you, first of all, like it's the same shit with the incels, right? Like, first of all, lower your standards, okay? I know that half of you actually attractive 20 somethings have standards for men that are determined entirely by like shoujo romance manga or like Disney movies. Get over your shit, okay? Yeah, guys are I know. I sleep with men, so I would know. Find better one. Try harder, okay? Make you try harder. We got to do that, but for the rad femmes, for the femcells or whatever. How's one socialized to be a femcell? Okay, here's the problem that you need to understand, okay? A lot of it comes down to our expectations. Like, you know how there are a lot of guys who are like, wow, this bitch elbow too pointy or whatever, 2 out of 10, she's like hot and he's not, you know? Women do that too, but the thing is, like, I think women do it a lot worse because the problem you have to understand, and I can say this as a pansexual, okay? Guys just are worse. I'm sorry. If you're looking for love, men are so emotionally closed off and put so much less effort into their appearance. Now, gay men are fine because gay men tend to be better about this and they tend to put a lot more, especially the bottoms, put a lot more effort into their appearance. But like with straight dudes, I've seen straight guys, like, not a lot of effort put in. I mean, it depends on the men. Of course it depends on the men. But I'm talking about averages here. Now, this is totally fixable. There's nothing that makes men have to be emotionally closed off or not put any effort into their appearance or whatever, okay? That's not like a innate property of being born male, you know? They don't have to be like that, but they are. So I understand that a lot of women are going to think like, you know, I want my back blown out. Like, I want to pop my pussy on a fat meat stick, but it needs to be the right guy. And then you're 23 and it's like, whoa, I've interacted with thousands of men since turning 18 and they suck. What do I do? And the answer is, well, the answer is the content of the video that I would make, I guess. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Betrayal trauma is a collective term for the relational trauma suffered when a person on whom you thought you could rely, a person you trust, violates that trust. Okay, yeah, so this is when you catch your partner jerking at the porn. These cross-throughs. Therapy language? I hate that shit, dude. I hate that shit so bad. Anon says, we had a fight about my betrayal trauma yesterday, and he said I shouldn't care about this. I don't know what to do. I'm broken. What a Giga Chad boyfriend. They're all saying to leave him. Yeah, I actually feel like if you're in a relationship and somebody starts busting out like therapy language at you or what, I think that's like a huge red flag, honestly. I think that they're just ways of legitimizing your arguments, but you're trying to like, you're trying to like pull the convo down into this like, yeah, I don't know. It's not like a 100% thing. Like if you have a partner who you treated like kind of shit one day and they were like, I feel like, I don't know, kind of traumatized because I like feel like I can't trust you more. Like, I don't think you should immediately break up with them or whatever. That's mean and callous and undeserved. It's a contextual thing. I just think it's something to look out for, you know. Some people weaponize it very maliciously.